Hi and welcome to CBN4's Primetime News package for today. I am ALYAN Christopher. Here's a look at what's up for today's headlines. A Petit Soufriere man is dead following an accident at Antrim. The WASCO says they're near the completion of restoring water supplies. And in sports, soccer strikers are the champions of the first ever DFA Flow Nations Cup. Stay tuned for these and other stories when CBN4's Primetime News and Sports Report returns. Welcome back to CBN4's Primetime News. One man is dead following a major traffic accident at Antrim Valley earlier today. The police have commenced investigations into the circumstances of the fatal road collision which occurred at about 7 a.m. on the Antrim Valley Public Road and claimed the life of 37-year-old man Johnny Stout of Petit Soufriere. MARISA STEDMAN visited the scene of the accident.
Just recently, we learned of a vehicular accident that occurred on the Portersville Highway near the Woodbridge Bay Port and now Springfield. It is alleged that vehicle registration number HF033 was driven by a male adult, but we can't tell you that the gentleman is from the community of Petit Soufriere. We also noticed that there is only one vehicle spotted at the scene of the accident. The Dominic Police Force have also responded with much urgency. So for now, CBN4 News continue to watch as the story unfolds. MARISA STEDMAN, CBN4 News.
Thank you, Marisa, for that report. And according to the report from the police, information from the passengers on the bus claims that the deceased Johnny Stout lost control of the bus. The information further states that the bus collided with a parapet on the road and overturned. The report from the police also claims that at the time of the accident, there were 3 passengers on the bus who sustained minor injuries. They were taken to the accident and emergency department of the Princess Margaret Hospital, where they were treated and discharged. Johnny Stout was also taken to the accident and emergency department of the Princess Margaret Hospital, where he was officially pronounced dead by a medical doctor and then transferred to the Lyndhurst Funeral Home. Investigations continue surrounding the fatal accident at Antrim Valley. And the School-Based Assessment, or SBA, has been a major part of the Caribbean Examination Council's assessment structure from the first examinations in 1979. To date, CXC has decided to add SBAs to almost all of their subjects, all in an effort to assist and bring out the true potential in students.
Well, the Caribbean Examinations Council, they have realized that when students do an exam, a paper-based exam on any given day, anything can go wrong. Sometimes the students may have a headache, sometimes they may not be feeling well on the day. Through fear of the exam phobia, the students may not be able to perform properly on any given day. Hence the reason why they have decided to introduce school-based assessments, which will bring out the real potential of the students. Because if you have been studying a subject for over 5 years, some 6, some 7, based on the lifespan of the student at the school, you really need to see the true potential of that student, what that student can really produce. And on a paper-based exam in a limited time, you may not get that true potential being shown. So CXC gives the students an opportunity to enter the exam room with marks on the table, Hence, they have decided to introduce SBAs to almost all of their subjects. In Dominica, for example, we do 33 CSEC subjects, and out of the 33, only 3 do not have SBA components. That's the modern languages, French and Spanish, and human and social biology. So really and truly, it puts the students at an advantage coming into the exam room with marks, and they can better their grade with their performance on the paper 1 and the paper 2. So it's really beneficial to the students. What CXC has also done, they have allowed teachers the opportunity to put their students into groups. So the teachers, it will be less of a burden on the teachers and the students as well, knowing that they can work on only one component of the SBA. The teachers will have less SBAs to mark, and it's a win-win situation for all.
And also in the news, the Dominica Water and Sewerage Company, the WASCO, has indicated that some 98% of its water supplies have been restored. Following Hurricane Maria, the WASCO suffered over 95% of damages to its water supplies, leaving a number of communities across Dominica without pipe-borne water.
So far, 6 months later, we're happy to note that some 98% of our supplies have been restored. Many of them are still vulnerable, so we had to do what was necessary to get water back to the communities. The government was concerned about maybe waterborne diseases and this sort of thing, so it was very important to ensure the restoration of water to many communities. So that we have done.
Regis also indicated that there still remains a few challenges in some areas on the island.
The Scott's Head area, the pipes were totally washed away by the sea, and so we've had to develop a special project to ensure that we could return the supply to Scott's Head, so they're still out of water. There were some communities where we pump water to these communities. We needed electricity to pump water, and as you know, the electricity company has not been able to restore electricity to several communities. But what we had to do in the interim was to bring in free-phase generators to our pumping sites, and we've done so. And many communities where we pump water received the supply in the last couple of weeks, in the last couple of months. So really, Scott said area is one of the main areas. The Granby area is also another area where we are scheduling water, or rather rationing water, and that is because our intake on the Pishna River is totally destroyed, and we have to develop a new project to fully restore that water. But what we did in the aftermath of Maria was to restore an old intake in the Powell area to bring water back to Granby.
The public relations officer also noted that pockets of areas like Monrachet, Grand Savan, and a few other areas continue to be affected. He said the WASCO continues to work assiduously to ensure that water can be restored fully to these communities. Colorado State University hurricane researchers are predicting a slightly above average Atlantic hurricane season in 2018, citing the relatively low likelihood of a significant El Niño as a primary factor. The Colorado State University Tropical Meteorology Project team is predicting 14 named storms during the Atlantic hurricane season, which runs from June 1st to November 30th. Of those, researchers expect 7 to become hurricanes and 3 to reach major hurricane strength with sustained winds of 111 miles per hour or greater. So far, the 2018 hurricane season is exhibiting characteristics similar to 1960, 67, 96, 2006, and 2011. The team predicts that 2018 hurricane activity will be about 135% of the average season. By comparison, 2017's hurricane activity was about 245% of the average season. The 2017 season was most notable for hurricanes Harvey, Irma, and Maria, which devastated the United States and portions of the Caribbean. The Colorado State University team will issue forecast updates on May 31st, July 2nd, and August 2nd. And stay tuned, we'll be back with more news after the break.
L'année signe tout partout. Attention si vous êtes homme et bien femme. Visitez place santé pour examiner corps. Ça c'est un nid pour yo ouais si l'année pièce moun au lion qui ni maladie TB et bien maladie sexuelle. En compagnie moun qui ni maladie HIV pe ni TB aussi. Savent qui l'année guérison pour TB. Ou ça vivre en bonne santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Parlez by docteur. Prends responsabilité. Aider du bout de sime maladie TB et HIV. Ou agir tout le monde pour examiner corps yo.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
And welcome back. The Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development had earlier advised that all parents and guardians of children of school age that they should ensure that their children report to their schools on today, Monday, that starts of the new school term. MARISA STEDMAN is on top of that story.
The Easter break is over and parents are encouraged to get their students back at school in the classroom. Through a recent press release, the Ministry of Education and Human Resource Development has advised all parents to notify the school where his or her child attends if they are unable to attend, even going as far as saying that education officials will conduct checks in cases where students remain absent from school without a proper explanation, thus stressing regular attendance. According to the Ministry of Education, the Education Act can be obtained in the ministry's website. Meantime, students of the Roseau Primary School are now being asked to report to the original school building and not at the temporary facility at the former Teachers College at Bath Estate. MARISA STEDMAN, CBN4 News.
And the two-year research project is aimed at developing and enhancing policy proposals to establish Dominica as a center of excellence in the preservation and promotion of the Creole culture has been launched in Dominica. Project Officer at the Cultural Division, Gregory Rabes, in his opening remarks at the launch, stated that the research project is a collaborative initiative between the University of Bedfordshire in the United Kingdom and the Conmit Po Etid Creole, KEC, the Cultural Division, and the National Cultural Council in Dominica.
Research activities will be carried out here in Dominica and in the United Kingdom during 2018 and 2019. Key activities planned in Dominica include community workshops and focus group discussions in selected communities considered as Creole hubs in Dominica, a workshop in the Kalinago territory, a youth forum, and focus groups targeting youth. In addition, there will be an international Creole symposium in 2019.
Rabes also noted that in the United Kingdom, key activities envisaged included an academic conference, a youth forum, focus group discussions, and public engagement workshops.
The research will assist in determining current attitudes and a certain support for further institutionalizing Creole culture and traditions and document critical aspects of the heritage for the sustainable development of all its dimensions. The research will also investigate and document core principles and best practices for advancing policy on preservation and promotion of the Creole heritage. The research will lead to the development of a policy paper on Creole language and culture, 2 books, and a video documentary. A project website and social media initiatives will provide visibility and information on the project on an ongoing basis. As part of the process, a research network will be created between the University of Bedfordshire.
As part of the process, a research network will be carried between the University of the Bedfordshire and the Economic Poetide Creole Cultural Division and the National Cultural Council in order to establish and develop advocacy for advancement of the Creole heritage and culture through the arts and humanities, and to establish and sustain long-term engagement and partnership between key actors and stakeholders in Dominica and academics at the University of Bedfordshire, so as to ensure collaboration which extends beyond participation in initial networking events. Also in the news, the launch of the Clinton Global Initiative, CGI, Post-Disaster Recovery Action Network this week in Miami saw a total communication and entertainment provider, Digicel, and its chairman and founder, Dennis O'Brien, making a significant commitment to help rebuild Dominica.
On 18 September 2017, Hurricane Maria made landfall on the Caribbean island of Dominica with intense rainfall and winds of over 160 miles per hour, causing catastrophic destruction. The government's post-disaster needs assessment found that Hurricane Maria had resulted in damages totaling over US 900 million, with the island's physical infrastructure particularly affected. According to the government's post-disaster needs assessment, 90% of housing experienced damage, with 15% of homes having been destroyed and an additional 75% experiencing varying levels of damage. Educational facilities were also heavily impacted, with 41% of schools needing full reconstruction and many additional facilities requiring repairs. Overall, 100% of Dominica's students were affected to some degree by the hurricane. Through its Clinton Global Initiative commitment, Digicel will rebuild 7 schools and 360 homes in Dominica to address the damage from Hurricane Maria. Activities will range from repairs to full rebuilding, dependent on the conditions of each school. The objective is to rebuild the 7 schools and the 360 homes of the parents and children attending those schools, and for the work to be complete by the end of June. To support local capacity building, Digicel will also train 100 community members in building techniques and provide community workshops on risk mitigation and disaster preparedness to 70 adults and 300 school children in collaboration with the Ministry of Education. This commitment builds upon Digicel's expertise in supporting school infrastructure in all the geographies, including Haiti, and represents an expansion of Digicel existing work. In presenting Digicel's commitments at the Clinton Global Initiative Post-Disaster Recovery Action Network launched in Miami this week, Digicel Dominica CEO Nikema Roy John Baptist explained that the focus on education and housing was central to getting the economic cycle moving again. MARISA STEDMAN, CBN4 News.
And finally, on the news segment today, BOUYON Inc., organizers of the BOUYON Monarch Festival, will host a panel discussion on the topic, Does BOUYON music influence violent behavior? On Tuesday, April 10th at the UB Open Campus Auditorium. Cornel Phillip, an original member of the WCK Band, Geoffrey Joseph, the manager of the Triple K Band, and the third panelist, a prominent public official, will debate the question. This comes against the background of recent public comments that associated incidents of violence in carnival bands with BOUYON music and BOUYON bands.
Make
Journalist and publisher of the online newspaper Dominic News Online, Tim Dura will moderate the discussion. President of BOUYON Inc., Larry Cambran, says the panel discussion comes ahead of the launch of the BOUYON Festival, scheduled for July 2018. Stay tuned, the sports comes up shortly.
If you're HIV positive or have an STI, having unprotected sex with multiple partners puts them in grave danger. You'll expose every partner and their present and future partners to HIV or another STI. Use a condom every time you have sex. You can live a productive life even if diagnosed with HIV. Remember, early detection is key to your survival. Be responsible, protect yourself and others. Help stop the spread of HIV and other STIs.
There are signs everywhere. Pay attention whether you're male or female. Visit your health center to get screened. It's a preliminary test to determine if you are exposed to the HIV virus, an STI, or tuberculosis. Some people who are HIV positive also have tuberculosis. But there's hope. Tuberculosis can be cured. And yes, you can live a full life with HIV. Talk to your doctor. Be responsible. Help stop the spread of TB, HIV. Encourage everyone to get tested.
Les moun ki ni TB estene e ben tousse, moun ki en bonne santé ALYAN ka respire se vermine la. Moun ki pa ni bon tempérament kon sa ki ni maladie HIV, alcool, ka fumer, ti mamay e grand moun bien sensible pour ces maladies ça là. Moun ki ka tousse ni pou prendre précaution le yo en parmi moun en place publique. Couvre bouche ou le ka estene et tousse. Visitez docteur et ben place santé. Fini tout traitement yo ba ou sa joine guérison et puis maladie TB. En responsabilité ou aider du bout si mais maladie TB et HIV. Protéger corps et les autres.
And welcome to the Sport Report. The Mahu Soccer Strikers are the champions of the DFA Flow Nations Cup, which took over the DFA Flow Premier League after the passage of Hurricane Maria. Playing in front of a decent crowd at the Windsor Park Sports Stadium, the Belfast Estate Strikers, they broke the hearts of the Northern Concrete and Steel Bombers supporters when captain Jeren Sebastian and winger Nick Anthony combined to register the only goal of the contest. Anthony's strike came just on the stroke of halftime. Captain of the Belfast Estate Mahu Soccer Strikers team, Jeren Sebastian, said his boys had a solid mind coming up to this final. Meantime, a disappointed Bombers captain Malcolm Joseph says his team had been inconsistent leading up to the finals. The Belfast Estate Mao Suke Strikers walked away with the grand prize of $10,000, while the Northern Concussion Steel Bombers, the runners-up, walked away with $7,000. Saturday's third-place match between the Petro-Caribe Point Michel and Exodus finished 2-1 in favor of Point Michel. Point Michel getting $3,000. National shot put record holder Dylan Simon's run at the shot put event in the 2018 Commonwealth Games came to an end, with Simon failing to advance to the round of the last 8 throwers. Simon threw 17.99 meters in his first throw and then 18.44 meters in his second throw before fouling on the third throw. The result left Simon with a distance of 18.44 meters, which was short of the qualifying mark of 19.42 meters. Simon finished 10th out of 12 throwers. The event was won by Thomas Walsh of New Zealand with a throw of 21.41 meters. And Bavon Sylvain will be looking to carry Dominica's momentum in the track and field events when he competes in the men's long jump at the Commonwealth Games. Sylvain will be competing on the heels of a personal best showing by Derek Sejan in the 400 meters and Dylan Simon's exploits in the men's shot put. Sylvain will jump at 11:20 a.m. Tuesday, that is April 10th Australia time, and 9:20 p.m. Monday Caribbean time. Sylvain spoke with the Dominica Olympic Association media team before his final training session.
Feeling pretty ecstatic about competing tomorrow. I mean, you know, my body, I had a couple of days to acclimatize, you know, from the jet lag, and then, you know, acclimatize to the weather here. You know, the humidity is a bit up, but I mean, so far my training since I've been here has been like awesome. My body's responding, and there's no nicks and knacks or pain in my body. So going into competition, as long as my body feels great mentally, I'm in tune. So, you know, I'm going there to do the best that I can do and just express myself and have fun. So I feeling really confident about, you know, expectancies and, you know, my chances tomorrow. Okay. In my event, there's no such thing as a game plan. You know, we train, we practice. They train and practice just like I do. So it's just for me to go out there and focus on what I know as far as like being technically sound and putting everything together. But in my event, it's just going out there and having fun. I mean, using the crowd, feeding off adrenaline, and just putting my mindset in the right space just to execute, because that's the key, to execute. So once I'm out there, you know, seeing the crowd, you know, doing it for my family, myself, my country, you know, all that's just motivation that's going to uplift me to, you know, compete tomorrow.
And in other sports items, President of the Dominica Football Association, Glenn Etienne, has no comments at this time as it relates to a vote by a Dominica government minister for Morocco to host the 2026 World Cup. The announcement came from Dominica's Foreign Minister, Francine Baron, on Thursday, April 5, 2018, after meeting with a diplomat from the North American nation. FIFA's statutes demand national soccer associations are independent and avoid any form of political interference. The announcement from Baron was published on a Moroccan government website alongside a picture of her holding a World Cup bidding document. Baron said, "On behalf of Dominica, I am pleased to announce the support of my country for Morocco in the organization of the 2026 World Cup." And Manchester City must now wait to secure the Premier League title after Manchester United mounted a remarkable second-half derby fight-back to come from 2 goals down to win at the Etihad Stadium. City needed victory to be confirmed as champions, but Paul Pogba scored 2 goals in 2 minutes to overturn City's first-half lead before Chris Smalling's volley completed the dramatic turnaround.
Good turn by Sanchez. And Pogba, it's beautifully worked by Manchester United. They've got to go back. And that's what Pep Guardiola was fearing with those chances that were missed late in the first half. Here comes Sanchez. Pogba trying to get in again. He is in again. He scores again. What a comeback by Manchester United, driven by Paul Pogba. He cannot believe it. He cannot believe it. He's gone to sit down. There we go. And it's Smalling! What a turnaround by Manchester United. Chris Smalling ran in unattended. Here at the Etihad to beat.
Pep Guardiola's side had delivered a first-half masterclass with captain Vincent Kompany scoring with a thumping header after 25 minutes and Ilkay Gundogan adding a second 5 minutes later after a clever turn and finish.
Here at the Etihad to beat 6 years ago, and it's the same man here. History's going to perhaps repeat itself. A step nearer the title. And the captain comes up with the goods, comes up with the goal. Pretty substantial in City's favour. De Gea helping United's cause with that kick. Sterling, Gundogan, 2-0! Brilliant! This is Manchester City. This is why they're the best. They can hurt you from every player, from every angle.
City will win the title next weekend if they beat Tottenham at Wembley and United lose at home to bottom club West Brom on Sunday. And that takes us to the end of today's Primetime News and Sports package. On behalf of the entire CBN4 team, I am ALYAN Christopher saying thank you for watching.